Welcome to my period stories. This is a video podcast series where we talk about menstrual health, menstrual hygiene, reproductive health rights, and many more issues pertaining to menstruation. Here we bring you amazing stories from fascinating people. Men and women have period stories. We bring them here on My Period Stories. I am your host, Funke Treasure. Right, welcome again. If you're just joining us, this is My Period Stories. Today we're going to be looking at the bulk of those who do menstruation, and that's the teenagers. Amongst the teenagers, girls, of course, we have those with bragging rights. I started menstruating. You have not started. Don't even come close. There are things like that. They also have reproductive health rights, access to water is a reproductive health right as far as I'm concerned, and having access to other products they need to maintain their menstrual hygiene is also part of their rights. We will also be talking about pad intervention in the light of the fact that menstrual pads and other products have skyrocketed in terms of prices. Stay with us. So it's an unusual panel I have with me on My Period Stories today. I have 4 women joining me, and that makes it a full house. So let me welcome, without further ado, the team from Teensmata. Now that's the easy part to pronounce there. They're actually youth-powered ecosystem to advance urban adolescent health. Yeah, that's the long one. For short, YPE 4AH. Let me start with the private sector engagement manager. It's such a brilliant thing to have you on the show today. Welcome, Andrea Okafor.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Good. I look forward to really good engagement. Right. And also with us on the podcast today is Ofyang Ekpeyong, who's the program officer for Teensmata, and also Busayo Ojay, who's the Adolescent Youth Advisory Committee member. Your title is very long. You must be very important here. And also with us is the nurse and healthcare provider at Teensmata, Dorcas Toluanimi Uluwadare. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ladies, let's have it for ladies.
We snap.
Oh, we snap.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what's behind the snap.
That's the way we appreciate people when they do anything, you just snap.
We snap, so we adopt the snapping today.
Snap.
Welcome, ladies.
Yeah.
So I talked about bragging rights. Did any of you go through that kind of experience? Did you have girls within your school or your space telling you, hey, you've not started menstruating, don't even come near? Did you experience it? Dorcas, you did. You can pass the mic.
Yeah, so I experienced it, coupled with the fact that I always play football often.
Okay.
I was more of a tomboy, always skipping classes. I'm sorry. Don't skip
Always
classes.
skipping classes. Let me help you.
So during that period, I was not developing breasts. I had not started menstruation. So I had a couple of friends asking, you are just a boy. Why are you a girl in a boy's body? Why are you a boy in a girl's body? Things like that. So I had friends telling me, you need to go and apply something to allow your breast come out well, or to do 1 or 2. So they started more or less like oppressing me.
Right. So when did you start menstruating?
So I started at 9.
That's pretty early.
Yes, for me. But after that time, it just came like a few days. Then it stopped till officially came back at 14.
Right. It just came and then
Yes,
it
yes, it just
disappeared.
disappeared.
Okay. I have to bring someone to talk about that because I understand quite a number of girls go through that.
Yes.
Okay. So let me stop there. I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to come back to the both of you to talk about your period stories later. But let me go to the private sector engagement officer. Andrea, talk to me about what you do at the youth ecosystem center?
On the project, the Youth Powered Ecosystem to Advance Urban Adolescent Health, as the private sector engagement manager, I seek partnerships and collaborations with public and private sector stakeholders that can contribute to the progress of the program.
Okay, so let me come to you ladies. I'll come back to you later, Andrea. But you deal with the teenagers, and I know you have this Teensmata and you have hubs in Kano, I'm sure of that, and in Ikorodu as well. What would you say leaps at you as the biggest challenge of teenagers at the hub regarding menstrual health?
So the project we forgot to mention, it's funded by USAID. It's a 5 years project, and we work in both Lagos and Kano. So when it comes to challenge we face with young people, they don't even, some of them have not seen sanitary tools. So they are coming on the project. It's the first time they had to use one. Like there's a story from Kano. This young girl, she's 18 years old. Her father is a farmer. The mother is a petty trader. She has never used pad. It's like a taboo to go to see your menses. So she's always not free to go out and do anything. She stays in the house for a period of time. So there's a place they call a mud house, menstruation mud house, where they stay. So by hearing about the project, she now got some sanitary tools. And that was actually the first time she was using tools. We have lots and lots of stories from young people. And funny, this is an opportunity for them to have access to these sanitary tools because it's not readily available and it's not cheap as well.
So I would first like to say and encourage policymakers, as condoms and tissue papers are free everywhere, let's also try to make sanitary towels free. It's very, very expensive, and some of these girls cannot even afford to feed, not to even talk about affording sanitary towels. Take, for instance, a story that I was opportune to, or a case I was opportune to take at the hub, just here on the island. An adolescent walked up to me and she was grateful for the impact of our project on her because she has never ever seen a sanitary pad.
Here on Lagos Island.
On this Lagos Island.
In Lagos State,
yes,
Nigeria.
Yes, to be precise.
Oh, wow.
She had never seen a sanitary pad, coupled with the fact that she could not afford it. So this is how our story played out. She was initially assaulted by a neighbor. That's when she was very young. Our mom was not with her. Our mom doesn't have time. You know, market women always trying to make ends meet, single mother. So she didn't have any person to even cater for her or even talk to her about her hygiene or her physique as she's growing up. She didn't have any of those informations at all. It was one day when she was fetching water by the well. That was when an elderly woman told her that her trouser was stained. And the next thing the woman told her was, "You are now a woman." She didn't, that was the only thing she knew. So the woman told her to get pieces of Ankara and wrap it, and that's what she started using. And she told me that her friends were always avoiding her because she always stinks, or stinked, is that the right word? She was always smelling. Even her boyfriend was...
Oh, she had a boyfriend, in the midst of all of this.
She had a boyfriend.
So parity.
That's the thing about young ones, but her boyfriend was avoiding her or avoids her anytime she's on her period. And fortunately for her, we had an outreach in our area, and that's where she came in contact with us, rather. And we were able to talk to her. We invited her down to our hub. I personally spoke with her about hygiene as a girl, how to take care of herself, grooming and all that. And we gave her sanitary pad. I could feel the emotion running through her, like she has never seen this thing. She could not afford it, and she was very grateful. So I think it's very, very important that our government try at least. If they cannot give it free, they should subsidize the barest minimum.
If they can't give it free, they should subsidize. I know, Busayo, you're raring to go. I know that you have something to say about this. Jump into it right away.
Okay, yes. And when it comes to my period story, I started my period by 14, and I went to a girls' school, strict parent. My father is kind of strict, but my mother, but I'm kind of stubborn because the way they treat us at home is we are all girls. There's a way you talk to a guy and stuff, so they reduce us from guys. And my secondary school was just only girls also. before I started my period, my friends are always like, only you among us, no breast, nothing. Sha, don't come here, can I come? Like, okay, no problem. When I started my period, I first decided I won't tell my mom. Because I was like, why would I tell her? So then later on, I felt like this thing is just spoiling my skirt. Sha, let me tell her. She now started
Shall let
telling
you
me,
tell her
Sha, let me tell
like
her.
that, you know,
Like,
babe.
baby.
Right.
She now started telling me, wash your pint. You wash it immediately. And I'm kind of lazy. I don't like stress. Like stress. I just pack it one side, Jerry. She see, she shout. She see, she shout. But the thing I think parents don't know is that maybe if she has enlightened me, this thing is going to cause a health issues. Maybe I'd have just decided, okay, no, let me go right. But what I felt, what she also knows is just that you need to wash these things. And what I used to look at apart from I'm lazy is that there is no water, and I'm not ready to fresh water. I cannot climb stairs. It's stressful. So fortunately, I just jam these coaches to Teensmata Youth or Blaffy
You
IG.
jammed them.
I jammed them.
In other words, she ran into them.
Yes, I
That's
ran
what she
into
means.
them, yeah.
Those were
So-
all Nigerians watching.
So I was brought to the hub and we had period menstrual hygiene day. Yes, menstrual hygiene day. Well, we're enlightened about menstrual hygiene and stuff, and they're like, wow, so these things are like this. And that was my first time doing that. Apart from pad that I know, there are other things you can use like cups and rewashable. Like really, and always spend my money. Do I love to carry my money away? And also, another story I have that on that same day, I came with my friend. This my friend don't believe in pad, because she's like me. We don't want to wash, so she believe in tissue papers. Just use toilet show like rolls, just fold it and fold it and fold it. Then she starts using it, but when we came there and after all everything, we were informed, we got enough information about health and menstrual hygiene and the rest. We're giving parts. We're like, shall now is that this thing by? Yeah, use it now. Okay. She used it and she was like, I'm sorry, this thing is not that bad though. It's not that bad. Like things then we now turn to big girls. Start using
You
pad
now
anyhow.
talk to big girls who use pad.
Turn to big girls. I can now wear at least white chain when I'm on my period. Like since there is pad and I can maintain it, let me try white. I'll now be checking my bum. Sure, I'm not staying, sure. I'm not staying. Like, this thing work, oh. This hygiene makes sense, oh. Like, I start.
Interesting. Fascinating one to hear from someone who's young and is right in the middle of what it takes, the transition from not knowing anything about it all and accessing the support that you give in Teensmata. It's quite instructive, you know, for those of us who are advocates of pad interventions and reproductive health rights and menstrual health and menstrual hygiene. When we tell people that there are actually girls who do not have the right materials for their menstruation, they think, oh, they're just exaggerating. So hearing that from you, Busayo, gives credence to what we're saying, that there are girls who've never seen menstrual products before, apart from socks, foam, wrapper, tissue paper, which as a nurse, you talk to us about how tissue paper is not even right.
First off, I would like to, I'm sure that we all know that tissue papers are very soft, and when it comes even in contact with water, it detaches easily. So now imagine something like that under you or in your private part, and you are constantly menstruating. You have tissue particles going into your cervical pathways, and with that there can be a clodge, and it can even breed bacterial growth and infection, which can also cause pelvic inflammatory diseases and all those sexual reproductive issues. So it's not really encouraging at all.
It's not really encouraging at all. Yet we have many girls who are using tissue paper to maintain their menstrual hygiene. So you see, what we're talking about is serious matter, is teens matter and adults matter, but it really, really matters. Yeah. You know, we need these menstrual talks, health talks for our young people, our teenagers to know that there are right materials to you and there are materials that are not right. You're watching My Period Stories. We've been talking about teenagers, reproductive health rights, and pad intervention. And I've had with me 4 women from Teensmata Hub. Teensmata is about youth-powered ecosystem to advance urban adolescent health. So they're doing a very important work in the teenage population within the country Nigeria. Let me come back to you, Andrea, and let's talk about your engagement with the stakeholders. You've heard, I mean, this is, you people are together, so you know the stories. Talk to us about what you're doing to ensure that more teenagers access menstrual health talks, know what they should do about their menstrual hygiene, just like Busayo.
First and foremost, what I want to say is a platform like this is really good. Because back in my time, we didn't have these talks.
No, we didn't.
We had no idea about any of this. I remember when I started, even my mom being educated, UK trained, she said, oh, you've started. If you see a man, that's it. I said, what do you mean? So it's the experiences that we had that encouraged us to, go into programs like this. So what we do is we're partnering with Lagos State, the Ministry of Health, to be precise, and we give talks. We have a medical person on ground at our hubs where they can answer questions and talk about issues that they're having, and in a free and safe space. And of course, we have products, and we engage with other partners like Illuminate Nigeria that were, so generous to give us reusable pads, which we're distributing to our hubs in Kano, and we have 4 in Lagos. So with that, those are some of the things that we do. We encourage the teens to come and speak to us, be open about issues that they have, tell their friends to come to the hubs so that they can get more information about their rights and their, habits and how to take care of themselves in general. And so far it's working. This is a 5-year project. We're gaining traction. We've reached over 22,000. And I can say we're just starting. We plan to reach even more, before the 5-year grant from USAID is up.
I hope that you get more support as you go on. Right, so let me come back to Ofyong. Ofyong, you have stories, my period stories that you'd like to share from, apart from that of Busayo, from some of the girls you've engaged with. Talk to us.
Okay, so there's, we have young people in the north as well, and we work with both the married and unmarried adolescents because we have young people get married at early age in the north. So we have this young girl, she's 18, she's the second wife, she has co-wives as well. So she doesn't have access to sanitary towels as well as her other wives. So whenever she's on her period, she's using rags, things that are not hygienic to her health. So then she came across her, my hubs, her Teensmata hub. Then she had access to some sanitary towels. I'm just going to read what she said.
Right.
So you can
So the thing is that you're archiving some of the stories.
Yes, actually, we archive there because we actually get some of these donations from foundations. So she said, I hate menstruating because during menstruation, I don't go to hawk and get money. I don't see my friends. I don't get enough food to eat and I'm unhappy. I've never seen a pad before in my life. My parents have no idea what it is and I don't know how to use it. I was taught by my coach, I understand menstruation is not a taboo but a sign of maturity. That's just one person's story. Then this other one said, I was always sad anytime my period started. I have never had access to sanitary pad because I couldn't afford them. I would tell people like me about this, especially girls who have gone through what I've gone through. Then this is the one from the girl, the 18-year-old married adolescent. She said, She said the first time I used the menstrual pad made me realize why I usually had itching and foul-smelling odor from my body during and after menstruation. My husband confessed to me that I smell nice recently, and I had to teach my co-wives. The sanitary pad keeps me dry and clean. My husband prefers me more than my co-wives, and this means the world to me. So there's lots and lots of stories out there that if you hear them, you'll be marveled. I just remembered while they were sharing their story that I actually started using tissue when I started my period.
When did you start your period?
I was 13 when I started, and I started using tissue. Funny, and it was just like normal. My mom never told me anything about sanitary pad. And we were living in Lagos, so it wasn't as if I was in a community or something. So imagine me in the city, and I started with tissue, right? Then you have lots of stories out there. And I would like to also add that we have a goal, the SDGs 6.2 goal, to improve access to adequate sanitation, water, and hygiene. So if we have to reach that goal at all, we need to invest in menstrual towels, make it available. Like Dorcas said, you have tissues everywhere, you have condoms. Why can't we have access to pads in toilets, hotspots where you have girls? Let me not say most girls, some girls started their period when they were not even aware. What happened at that point? They don't even have the information. So there's lots of work we need to do out there. And thanks to Illinois, Nigeria.
There is a lot of work to be done. That's the whole essence of this podcast, My Period Stories. There's a lot of work to be done. You get 20,000 donations from here, 2,000 here, 1,000 there, 200 there. It's still a trickle because we need government legislation. Is there anything that you're doing to help in the legislation for access to pads? Andrea, let me come to you.
The idea behind it, one of the objectives is improving the life skills and leadership skills, as well as livelihood skills of the adolescents. So for leadership skills, what we are doing as a project is fostering an enabling environment for these teens to participate and share their own views on policies that affect them. So that's what we're doing. We are putting the teens first, and we're encouraging them to be part of programs that involve the government and stakeholders and policymakers. So there they put forward their own views. And yes, so at the end of the day, we know that for the sustainability of the project, we're going to need government's backing as well as the private sector. So there we are pushing for the policies to come through. It's coming along, it's slow, but it is coming along. Like I said, for a program like this to be on, shedding light on these issues is really good. So that is how we're going about.
So I'd also like to add that we collaborate with the Lagos State Ministry of Health. I don't know if you remember how we met. It was at the development of the National Guideline for Menstrual Hygiene Management. So we always want to be there. We want our adolescents to have a voice in policies that will favor them. So wherever we hear things that will benefit the health of young people, menstrual hygiene, whatever it is, we are always out there. That's why when you called us, we're quick to respond.
Like this. Thank you very much for coming. Private Sector Engagement Manager Andrea Okafor, thank you for your time. Ofyong Ekpeyong, Program Officer, thank you so much. I wish we could take more period stories. You have quite interesting ones. Adolescent Youth Advisory Committee Member Ujay Busayo, you should start learning how to fetch water. And finally, the nurse healthcare provider at Teensmata Hub, Dorcas Tuluwanimi Oluwadare. Thank you very much for coming. Before you go, I have gifts for you. I know you distribute disposables, but I have reusables here. So I'm going to give you the gifts for coming onto the podcast today. So I'm going to start with the engagement manager. This is from us to you. Reusable ensures that at least they're not using tissue paper and they're not using wrappers, and they can use this to change these sorts of arrest the period poverty factor that we have across the country. So this is for you, Ofyong. I'm going to skip Busayo. She doesn't like washing. But I'm just going to have mercy on her. Wash. You have to wash this one. And Dorcas, I'm sure you find this quite instructive when you engage with the girls later on.
We also have this at the hub, remember?
Yes, we donated this to the hub, yes. And that's it on my period stories today. We've talked about teenagers, reproductive health rights, and pad interventions. As you've heard from the stories we shared today, it's important access, affordability, availability. You heard it from our guests today. Join in making pads available to not just teenagers, but women, low-income women across Nigeria are struggling with it. We need a definite policy about accessibility to sanitary pads for girls and women in Nigeria. Kenya did it, Scotland did it, more countries across the world are doing it. Let's make it happen in Nigeria. Join us again next week.